What's up, Jayhawks? Welcome back to Run It Back. It's April and we're opening the month up with all things sports. From tennis courts to ice rinks and everything in between, we've got a lot to cover today. Let's head into it right now on Run It Back.
There's no place like Kansas.
Coming up, women's tennis has heated up, so we'll head to the courts first with Mia. Then track has been setting the pace this last weekend, and we'll head to the Golden State of California this week. Finally, Final Four games took place this past weekend, and the Arizona Wildcats' phenomenal season came to an end. And so did my bracket. Xander is breaking down what's ahead for the championship game. Mia, serve us some tennis updates first.
Thanks, Jameson. Let's head to the courts because, like you mentioned, KU tennis is on fire. Starting off strong, the women's team just closed out the regular home season with a 4-0 sweep against Cincinnati, making it their third straight sweep in a row for the Jayhawks. Adding to the emotion, the win came on senior day, putting the spotlight on Kansas senior Heike Janse van Feren. She teamed up with McCarthy for a strong doubles performance, defeating Cincinnati 6-3 to grant the doubles point for the Jayhawks. Kansas carried that energy into singles play with clutch performances from Kyoka Kubo, showing why she's a rising star dominating the match, forcing errors from Cincinnati's top player, Gabrielle Gunther. She leads the team in singles wins. The winning doesn't stop there. Friday's doubleheader set the tone for the weekend, with the Jayhawks picking up wins in both matches against South Dakota and West Virginia, and showing the dynamic of their lineup. With senior day and 3 straight sweeps, Kansas is carrying serious momentum into the final stretch of the season. You can catch all Kansas updates on @KansasTennis on Twitter and Instagram. Now, let's dash straight to the track with Zach for some track and field updates.
Thanks, Mia. Glad to hear about the Jayhawks' success in tennis. KU track and field headed off to 2 different track meets this past weekend where they had multiple personal records, placements, and a school record at the Battle on the Bayou at LSU and the Stanford Invitational. Down in the Bayou, Emma Jemuta won gold for the Jayhawks in the women's 1500 meter, finishing with a time of 4:13.25. In the women's pole vault, the Jayhawks took 2 spots on the podium, with Mason Myers-Hagen and Madison Snowdy tying for first with jumps of 14.5 and a quarter inch. Over to women's 4x4 meter relay, the squad of Sydney Smith, Deshauna Skeet, and Pearl Awina and Ethel Amissa finished third amongst college teams with a time of 3:35. Over to the men's events, in the 1500 meter, Tanner Talley ended in third with a time of 3:44. Sophomore Lenny Njorge ran a PR of 14:33 to take second in the 5,000 meters. Over to field events, Kirsten Wicks had yet another 7-foot clearance in his tying his PR and finishing second with a jump of 7'1". In the pole vault, the Jayhawks yet again took 2 of the 3 podium spots. Anthony Meekum with a vault of 19 feet and Bryce Barkdale with a vault of 17 feet 10 inches. Now let's head over to the West Coast where freshman Steven Mororo set a school record in the men's 10,000 meter run with a time of 28:08. In the men's 5,000 meter open, Reagan Kibet finished with a PR of 13:35, making him the 3rd fastest in KU history. And to finish off the action in Stanford, Barnabas Ndiwa placed second in the men's 10,000 meter open with a PR of 28:28. The Jayhawks put up some incredible numbers this weekend at 2 track meets. To stay up to date with all things KU track and field, follow @KansasTFXC on Instagram and X. It may not be a race on the track, but let's pass it over to Xander with March Madness Championship preview as the college basketball season reaches its finish line.
Well, Zach, track and field may be where most of the races are held, but tonight, the most important finish line will be on the hardwood. The men's college basketball season is coming to a close, and tonight, we'll crown this year's champion. Starting with the favorites, we have the Michigan Wolverines, currently holding a record of 36-3. The 1 seed has looked dominant all year, and especially in this tournament, as their average margin of victory so far stands at over 21 points. This includes Saturday's Final Four matchup against Arizona, where they won 91-73 and never trailed. The 7'3" center Mara had himself a day with 26 points to lead Michigan to its first championship appearance since 2018. Now, something to keep an eye on is the team's leading scorer, senior Yaxel Lendeborg, suffered an MCL sprain during the game against Arizona that resulted in him playing just 14 minutes. Despite being hobbled, Lendeborg doesn't seem deterred.
Coach said at worst it's like an MCL sprain, and then obviously I rolled my ankle, so I mean just that. But I'm going to push through. There's no way I'm missing game on Monday night, no matter what goes on. So I'm going to play unless I can't walk at all. So.
Now, Yaxel has also said if they win it all, they may be the greatest Michigan team ever. But to take the throne, you have to slay the king. And their opponent sure does have the jewelry of royalty. Tonight, the 34-5 UConn Huskies will be making their third national title appearance in the last 4 years. The other two both resulted in rings. In their Final Four matchup against Illinois, they held true to their defensive identity as they held the Fighting Illini to just 62 points on 34% shooting, over 20 points under Illinois' game average. Their defense has been stifling all tournament, but the injury bug could be taking a pivotal piece to that puzzle, as according to Pete Thamel, junior starting guard Solo Ball was seen in a walking boot yesterday and did not practice, apparently due to some type of foot sprain. While his status for the game is unknown at this moment, it may have to be next man up, as while Dan Hurley and UConn will attempt to defend their territory, Dusty May and the Red Hot Wolverines look to claim the school's first title since the 90s. It's a must-see matchup, so make sure to tune in at 7:50 p.m. Central Time tonight on TBS, True TV, or HBO Max. You know what else is must-see? Everything else this show has in store for you, right after the break.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Driving this show over to the pros, we have teed up a Masters preview with Landon as the tournament begins this week. And then not only did Michigan win in the basketball Final Four, but they have the chance to in the Frozen Four semifinals this weekend. Mike is taking to the ice with them. Then we have loaded up on hockey talk today because to wrap up our pro sports, Luke has an NHL preview. Landon, first, what do we have to look forward to on the Georgia Greens?
Thanks, Jameson. I'm going to chip it over to the beautiful greens of Augusta National as the Masters will be taking place later this week, starting on Thursday. And I'm here to give you guys some early predictions on who will be taking home the green jacket. The first golfer that I'm looking at to show out this week is the face of the LIV Golf League himself, Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson started off the 2026 season red hot as he had back-to-back wins on the LIV Tour, with one being in Singapore and the other being in South Africa. LIV just made the shift from their original 54-hole format to the regular 72-hole PGA and Masters format, and that change does not seem to be slowing DeChambeau down as he comes into this tournament with the second highest odds to win. His long drives and incredible work around the greens are everything you need to be on top of the leaderboard, so definitely look out for him. The next golfer I'm looking at is the left-handed broom putter connoisseur Akshay Bhatia. Akshay has made quite the impact on the PGA Tour this year as he has had 3 top 10 finishes already this season, including a third-place finish in the Players Tournament, which is often considered the 5th major, and also a first-place finish in the Arnold Palmer Invitational as he took home the iconic red alpaca sweater. As much as Akshay probably loves that red cardigan, I'm sure he would love to have a green jacket put on him even more. The last player I want to look at is the 2-time Masters champion and worldwide superstar Scottie Scheffler. Scottie kicked off his season winning the American Express tournament for his 20th PGA Tour title, becoming the fastest player to reach that milestone since the GOAT himself, Tiger Woods. Since that win, Scottie has not produced as much as you would normally expect of him, but one thing you can be sure of is that you can never count out the face of the PGA on the grounds of Augusta National. He is currently the odds-on favorite to win and is definitely someone you should expect to see in the featured groups come Sunday, and he will definitely be hunting for green jacket number 3. No matter who makes that magical putt on 18, walks into Butler Cabin with Jim Nantz, and puts on the coveted green jacket, you better believe this weekend will be filled with all the magic, whether it's the drive down beautiful Magnolia Lane, signature shots on Amen Corner, or the legendary walk over the Hogan Bridge. You will not want to miss a second of the action, as there is a reason this tournament is called a tradition unlike any other. That's enough of me talking about iron shots, so instead I'm going to slap shot it over to Michael, who will let us know all about another iconic tradition in the sport of hockey. Michael, the ice is yours.
The College Hockey Final Four is officially set for this week as we have 2 matchups ready to go for these 2 matchups. The first matchup we have set is number 2 ranked North Dakota versus one of 2 Big Ten names in the Frozen Four, unranked Wisconsin. This is Wisconsin's first Final Four appearance since 2010. North Dakota is an absolute powerhouse of a college hockey program, and historically, one of the most successful. Wisconsin is coming off a historic overtime win against number 3 Michigan State. North Dakota has a much deeper physical roster, largely due to their program's success and reputation over the years. But if Wisconsin can maintain their streak and keep building on their momentum, I could see this potentially being a much closer match than most may realize. Hockey is all about momentum, and if these Wisconsin players can keep their heads in the right space, things could get real interesting. The thing about Wisconsin that sticks out to me the most is how will they operate as a team. In their 4-goal win over Michigan State, 4 different players on their roster, Finley, Morrissey, Dexheimer, and Osborne, all had 1 goal each. Their ability to work as a team and not just have one player do all the heavy lifting may be the key to their win over North Dakota, but we'll just have to see. Then on to our second matchup, we have number 1 ranked Michigan, who has a big game in basketball tonight, thank you Xander for that, going up against the Denver Pioneers. Michigan is coming off of a win against Minnesota Duluth, who nearly came back against Michigan in the 3rd period, but Michigan was able to keep their lead and secure the win, leading their way to the Frozen Four. However, coming off of that narrow victory, it shows that they may be a little vulnerable and a little rattled, and especially about to play an unranked Denver, the stakes may be higher than they realize. Michigan has a young and elite offense, but they sure won't get to the finals without a fight. Wisconsin and North Dakota face off at 4 on Thursday with Denver and Michigan to follow. These are sure to be 2 great games with a lot on the line. We could see a rather cold sport seem to heat up with these upcoming games, and is sure to not disappoint. But the Frozen Four isn't the only hockey going on right now, as Luke is going to give us a preview of what's to come for playoffs in the NHL.
Thanks, Michael. Just like in college, it's also that time of the year again for the NHL. The games get more faster and more physical. The playoffs are not just about having strength and speed, but also the pain threshold that is needed to get through a round, let alone 4 of them. It's the mindset and poise they need to win 16 total games. Only the best and most successful group of guys will be the ones to lift the Stanley Cup. There will be tons of talented teams coming into the playoffs, but there are some flying under the radar that we need to look at. The first team to look out for is the Buffalo Sabres, who are heading back to the playoffs for the first time since 2011. Buffalo is currently 46, 23-8 on the year, and they have catapulted themselves from last place in the East. They've been on fire as they're riding a 35-9-4 stretch. The Sabres' key contributors are Rasmus Dahlin and Tage Thompson. Dahlin ranks 6th among defensemen with 69 points, and Thompson has 38 goals and 40 assists on the year. It has been 5,459 days since their last playoff game, and I'm excited to see what they can do in this year's playoffs. Another very scary team to look out for is the Carolina Hurricanes, who I think are the most underrated team in the playoffs this year. They are currently 49, 21-6, but still do not get the respect that they deserve. This team is so incredibly talented, and they check all the boxes of a Stanley Cup caliber team. They have elite scoring in Seth Jarvis, Andrei Svechnikov, and Sebastian Aho. They have lockdown defense with Jacob Slavin, who is a top 10 defenseman in the world. They also have other elite defensemen such as Shane Gostisbehere, Sean Walker, and Alexander Nikishin. When you pair that up with the youth Carolina has in Jackson Blake and Logan Stankoven, that makes this team very, very scary. The last under-the-radar team to keep an eye out for is the Minnesota Wild, who currently sit at 44, 21-12. They're in 3rd place in a very stacked Central Division. Minnesota is very dangerous in just about every aspect of the game. On offense, you need to worry about guys like Kirill Kaprizov, who has 43 goals and 44 assists. To go along with him, they also have Matt Boldy, who has 41 goals and 40 assists. On the defensive side, the Wild have Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber, who are 2 of the most complete defenders in the NHL. There are lots of very good teams this year, but only one of them will come out on top. Now, we're going to take a break, but we got a lot more coming up next.
KU supports community, creativity, Kansas. The University of Kansas provides statewide medical outreach, first responder training, cybersecurity protection, childhood development support, and economic gains amounting to over $7 billion every year. Every day, Kansas Jayhawks serve the world by creating a better future. The world is safer, healthier, stronger because of what KU creates.
We have a little bit more fun to wrap this show up. Starting off, KU Athletics is just getting stronger as it added 3 new clubs. Then our crew spent some time at the ballpark and ended up in a heated race. We'll see how that ended soon. And wrapping it all up, Landon, Johnny, and Patrick are bringing back the roundtable with the cute quarterback draft predictions. All this soon. Over to Logan first with the KU's newest clubs.
Thanks, Jameson. While these teams may not be new to campus, they're entering a new level of competition. Dance, gymnastics, and pickleball have officially been added to KU's sport club program, bringing new opportunities for athletes across campus. I caught up with each team to see what the move means and how they're leveling up.
Hi, my name is Molly Richardson. I'm the current president of KU Dance Alliance.
What's good, guys? My name is Andy Tran. I'm a senior doing business analytics at the University of Kansas, and I'm in the KU Pickleball Club.
Hi, my name is Gabby Sander, and I'm the co-president of the KU Gymnastics Club.
KU Dance Alliance is a student-run competitive dance team. Here at KU, we compete at NDA Nationals every April.
So the KU Pickleball team is all about pickleball, obviously, but also connecting the community. And we also have the KU Pickleball Club, and with that, we draft prospective players, and then we travel all around the U.S. to play tournaments and represent KU.
So here at the KU Gymnastics Club, we practice twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays from 7:30 to 9. At practice, we work on skills, routines, and we just have fun together. Ever since joining the sports club program, we've had so many more opportunities. For example, like sports club events, we are able to travel to competitions as well.
I would say it means a lot, especially for the players and for the team as a whole, because this gives us more exposure not only to the community around Lawrence, but to the community around KC and all over the U.S.
Becoming a part of the sports club program here, we get a lot of those benefits, as well as a nice community to go back to and to feel supported by.
The dynamic-wise, we got freshmen to graduates doing law school, and it's awesome seeing everyone comes into a sport, which is an universal language.
We have a very strong bond with our team, and even though this is only our second year, we have never been closer, and we just find our family within this team, and these are my friends that I'm going to have after I graduate.
The dynamic of the team, we always support each other no matter what, whether it's your first cartwheel or your first back tuck. We are always encouraging each other and cheering each other on.
So to join our club, you can go to the Sports Club Program website and find us there. You can also find us on Instagram at KU Dance Alliance, and we post all of our updates about tryouts there.
Search up KU Gymnastics Club on Instagram, and there we have a link that has 2 forms that you'll fill out, the Do Sports Easy form and then an interest form.
If you just go to Instagram, just search up KU Pickleball Team. That's where you get the most information, and just DM us. And that way we could know there's going to be tryouts going out, there's going to be practice going out. And if you could join us for a session, you never know, we might see you on the court soon.
As these teams step into more official roles on campus, they're not just continuing their sport, they're expanding on what it means to be a student athlete at KU. Now let's send it over to our crew who hit up the baseball game for some man on the street fun.
If you were a baseball player, what would your walk-up song be?
Ooh. Either Thunderstruck or, what's that song? I think it's called Loud and Heavy. It's an old country song. Like a long, cool vibe to it. It's a great walk-up song.
All right. Do you think that we're going to make it to Omaha this year?
I gotta hope. I really think that we could. Yes, 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 yes. I think the boys are stringing together pretty well. They're looking great.
And finally, who's your favorite player on the squad?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I'm really glad to see Balls back this year, though. Like, I'm excited to see him back in that 4-hole. He's doing great. Swinging the bat well. I love a good batter right there. So I'm glad to see him back. Probably my favorite player right now.
If you were a KU baseball player, what would your walk-up song be?
My walk-up song would be No Quarter by Led Zeppelin.
Awesome. Okay. And who is your favorite player on the team?
It's easy to say Balls, but I think Bach, our leadoff guy, is my favorite now.
So good answer. And do you think they're going to make it to Omaha this year?
Of course.
Okay, good. And final score prediction for this game.
Right now it's 6-4. Okay, final score is gonna be 10-7 Kansas.
I like it.
What would your walkout song be if you were on the KU baseball team?
Probably the intro to Power by Kanye.
Okay, I like that. All right, second question. Do you think the Jayhawks will make it to Omaha for the College Baseball World Series?
I hope so. We need to.
I agree. And then lastly, who's your favorite KU baseball player?
Balls.
I agree. Balls all day.
What?
What's your go-to walk-up song?
Sail by AWOL Nation.
All right. And do you think that the Jayhawks are going to make it to Omaha this year?
Definitely.
All right. And who is your favorite player?
Balls. Gotta go with balls.
There we go.
We interrupt this program to bring you.
Me and Johnny got volunteered to do the hot dog race, so we're gonna go do that now. It's gonna be fun, hopefully. I am extremely nervous. This will be the most athletic thing I've done since. I'm definitely nervous that I'm going to tear a hamstring or hurt myself.
God's led me here.
This is extremely hard to pump my arms in. This is not good. I won, surprisingly. It was great.
Hey, shout out my opponent. He was really good. Obviously, he beat me. And good work. Good work. Good work.
Yeah! Yay! Good job, guys. All right, good job, Zach. Do you want to give any closing remarks?
I went way faster than I thought. It was a great time. Love my competitors. They did a great job.
Yeah.
Just happy that I got the win today.
Rep and run it back well. All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. So we're going to head back to the boys with the NFL drafts in the studio. Let's go.
I have to say, Johnny, that was beautiful, despite not letting the kid win. Welcome back to another edition of something that I like to call the Red Hot Roundtable. If you don't know by now, my name is Landon Bassoff. I'm joined here alongside Johnny Peterson and Patrick Marks here. Fellas, the NFL draft is just on the horizon, and there's been a lot of debate regarding some of the quarterbacks available. My question to you guys, is Fernando Mendoza worthy of being the unanimous first overall pick?
I'm going to have to go with a resounding yes. I mean, we saw the season he had, national champion winner, Heisman Trophy. The Raiders need a quarterback. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to get it done, and no, he just signed with them. But I think without a doubt, he's who they need. He's 6'5". He's a great prospect.
I completely disagree. I think, honestly, at this point, we're talking about who's the best football player. And honestly, I got Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese is a monster of a prospect. He's 6'4", 240 pounds. I would like for him to get a little bit more weight, but I mean, 32.5-inch arms, and he ran a 4.46 at the combine. He had 6.5 sacks this year, which is, in my opinion, very impressive, considering he spent a considerable amount of time off the ball.
I mean, as much as I want to agree with you, I think if you want to say best player available, you look at Sonny Styles. I mean, the athletic score, 10, which was a perfect score, by the way, a 4.46 40-yard dash, the best linebacker prospect of all time, some might say. And if linebacker was valued more as a premier position in the NFL, specifically the draft, I think Sonny Styles is the best player available. He has the most upside. As much as I would like to say Mendoza should be the first overall pick, if the Raiders didn't need a quarterback, it should be Sonny Styles.
I don't know. Arvell Reese is a guy with a lot of flexibility at his positions. He can even play linebacker or he can come off the edge. I think he's just much better at what he does. I think he's more talented, even if, maybe he's got him more athletically, but I just don't see that happening. There's a reason Sonny Styles is falling to 10 in most of the drafts.
I just don't get it. I mean, everyone talked about how Sonny Styles was the best athletic linebacker of the modern world, of modern football. And I'm going to have to agree. You look at guys like Luke Kuechly, Ray Lewis, they led a defense. Middle linebacker leads the defense. Without the middle linebacker, there probably is no Arvell Reese. And I'm going to have to say that's a phenomenal take by myself.
Yeah, I mean, I love Sonny Styles, and I love what he brings to the table. I just think that Arvell Reese, being a positionless player, being an athlete, just a true athlete, coming off the edge, dropping back into coverage, he can literally do it all. This is your ultra Isaiah Simmons from back in the day, if you remember him. I think that there's no way that this guy really is a bust. I think that he's a surefire prospect, honestly. I think he's the most surefire prospect out of all.
I mean, I can't doubt it, honestly. He is great, but I think Sonny Styles is better. I mean, looking now, we all agree Mendoza should be the first quarterback taken. Who do we think is going to be number 2?
Honestly, I'm going to have to go with Ty Simpson. I mean, his production at Alabama this year was a little hit or miss, but I think that he has all the tools that he needs to be a successful NFL quarterback. I think of all of the remaining quarterbacks left in the draft after Mendoza, I think he's the only one that has a true potential to be a starter for years to come.
I mean, and that's spot on. I honestly have nothing else other than that. I think Ty Simpson's clearly the number 2. There's a huge gap between Mendoza and the rest of the guys, but Ty Simpson just happens to be the second best.
Yeah, this is a year where quarterback 2, if you're not getting Mendoza, you're not really getting anybody at all. But I think pretty easily, I think these guys should fall past the 3rd round or so. But I actually have Carson Beck at the QB2.
I can't.
I think Ty Simpson had a
gosh.
drastic fall off at the end of the year. He did nothing in the postseason. And Beck, he made the national championship.
I apologize. I'm going to have to cut you off. We're out of time, clearly. But, I mean, you could go on and on about Carson Beck, who is not great, by the way.
The same
NFL
age as Ty
draft kicks
Simpson.
off this April 23rd. We're going to see who is actually going to go number 1, assuming it's Mendoza, whose predictions actually pan out. And now we're going to kick it off to Jameson, who's going to wrap up our show. Take it away, Jameson.
Gotta love a good roundtable to end up our show. With that, that's all we have today for you, so come back next week for more sports updates and fun lined up for you. As always, we're live weekly on Mondays at 2. Check us out on Instagram and rewatch our shows on Media Crossroad YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Run It Back.
There's no place like Kansas.